This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
It's Thursday, August 27, and time for the Barbados Today Evening Update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. We begin with devastating news out of Dominica. 4 people confirmed dead and over a dozen more missing following the passage of Tropical Storm Erika earlier today. The entire island has been devastated by the storm, with landslides, island-wide flooding and extensive infrastructural damage. The 2 airports, Douglas Charles and Canefield, are now closed until further notice. Barbados Today spoke with local journalist Carlisle John Baptiste.
In the Bagatelle community, it appears that a number of persons are missing and are unaccounted for. In Roseau, there are reports of 2 persons missing. In the Good Hope community, 3. In Daly's, 1. The Douglas Charles Airport is totally flooded, closed. The Canefield Airport flooded, closed. We now have, in terms of damage coming from the south, from what I've seen thus far, it's just a sight to behold. Really, really mashed up the country. And people are now trying to do some mopping up, but it's going to take a long while. And
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who is currently in St. Lucia, expressed sadness by the loss of life. He is currently trying to return home. Meantime, the head of the Caribbean Disaster Management Agency, Ronald Jackson, tells Barbados Today that the regional response machinery has been activated and search and rescue teams from Barbados, St. Lucia and Trinidad are on standby to lend assistance.
We've managed to organize 2, possibly 3 helicopters into Dominica to do a couple of air reconnaissance as well as support damage assessment teams that need to go in. We've managed to mobilize those through Trinidad and Tobago, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as through the governments of France, through Martinique, the French territories in the Caribbean. We are also putting together a team that is to be deployed tomorrow to go into Dominica and assist with the assessment on the ground as well as the operational coordination of the emergency response there. This is primarily to ensure that we can fine-tune and better define the needs and then also respond to those needs. At the moment, we do not have specific priorities beyond search and rescue as well as medical evacuation.
Meanwhile, the government of Antigua and Barbuda discontinued the tropical storm warning for the island after shutting down the country earlier today for the passage of the system, while the government of the Dominican Republic has extended the tropical storm watch in the country. At 5 p.m., the center of Tropical Storm Erika, which is producing very heavy rains over portions of the Leeward Islands, was located near latitude 16.6 north, longitude 64.0 west, moving towards the west-northwest near 15 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds are near 40 miles per hour with higher gusts. Back at home now, Opposition Leader Mia Mottley is calling on the Prime Minister, Frundle Stewart, to urgently address the situation facing the country. In a release this afternoon, Mottley questioned how many more people had to die, be robbed, risk losing their homes or businesses before the Prime Minister speaks out. She went on to say that the country needs to know that it has leadership that will protect them when they are most in need of it, and not, and I quote, a Prime Minister who is both numb and mum, end quote. Mottley maintains that the Prime Minister needs to speak out now to protect Barbadians in what she describes as this hour of anxiety and vulnerability. The opposition leader's comments comes on the heels of last night's robbery at the Tapas restaurant in Hastings, which resulted in an employee being injured. According to police, spokesman David Welch, the robbers, one armed with a knife, entered the restaurant and stole a cash till containing an undisclosed sum of money. During the incident, which occurred around 9:45 p.m., the male staff member received a cut to his head. While the injury was not life-threatening, it was serious enough to merit medical attention. In other news, veteran trade unionist Robert Bobby Morris foresees turbulent times ahead for relations between the public sector and the island's trade unions unless something is done, and he is recommending that urgent changes be made to remedy the situation. He made the comments during a panel discussion on the way forward for an evolving industrial relations climate in Barbados last night.
My own prediction is that the management relations in the public sector will become more trained than in the private sector. Let me repeat. I believe that the issue, especially of action, industrial action and so on, in the public sector is going to be more problematic than in the private sector. And if that is so, it means that we have to look at that public sector in order to see what needs to be done in order to bring it to a level that it does not become a problem and a burden in terms of the maintenance of peace in country Barbados.
In sports, James Johnson wants his Barbados Open golf title back, but Julian Jordan has no plans of surrendering it. Both of the island's top golfers will go toe-to-toe in the championship flight of the 2015 Massey United Insurance Barbados Open when the tournament tees off tomorrow morning at the Royal Westmoreland Course in St. James. For other divisions in the annual tournament, which is regarded as the national championship, also play Friday at the Barbados Golf Club at Durance before moving to Apes Hill on Saturday. Last year's women's champion Sally Scofield will not be defending her title, while Ray Muffin Stollmeyer, the champion in 2012 and 2013, will also be absent.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Got it in my hand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Got to understand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Ain't nothing like a core bank spare. None of them others just can't compare. You just got to love that taste. It's the world-class thing this land makes. Whether I'm cruising or at a bar, whether I'm at home, my bank spare is never far. For this blessing, got to give God thanks. My Barbados, my bank.
To news from the region, detectives from Jamaica's major investigation task force are probing the circumstances surrounding the death of a constable. The officer's bullet-riddled body was found at his home in the parish on Wednesday. He was attached to the Portman police station in St. Catherine. On the international scene, hundreds of migrants are feared dead after two boats carrying up to 500 people capsized off the Libyan city of Zuwara. Officials say the first boat, which signaled for help earlier today, had nearly 50 people on board, while the second, which sank sometime later, had as many as 400 passengers. The Libyan Coast Guard is still conducting a search and rescue operation for that second boat. And that's news and sports. For more, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. Subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Do have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.